Hey everybody, welcome to Bobby Builds It. And I want to tell you about the other day I hit the jackpot at the Lumber Yard, which is actually the name of the place I went, but the Lumber Yard here in Greenville, South Carolina. I'll put a link to them for your viewing pleasure. But I was out looking for some maple, and I found this guy, 13 bucks. It's about 10 and a half inches by, I can't remember, 40 some inches. I don't need that much of it. Where's the tape measure? Yeah, 48 and a half. About 10 and a quarter. And you can again see the price on there, 13 bucks. I think I can turn this thing into 90, maybe 100. Stick around. And so what's really nice is this was in their remnants pile, but it's not really surfaced four sides. But this side is flat, this side is flat. Yeah, there's a little bit of work needs to be done there. But then this edge is pretty good. And so is this. It's nothing on here that I need to mill the whole thing up. I can sand out where the problems are. So one of my other hobbies is brewing beer. Well, my girlfriend is all the brains behind all that. I just pick stuff up and put it back down again. But sometimes we gotta, well, every time we gotta stir the wort there, and all the grains in the beer can make a pretty significant thing to stir around. And we've got this spoon. And it's pretty flexible. And you can imagine when it's in like 150-degree liquid, it gets really flexible. So I'm gonna make a mash paddle. Pardon the interruption from future Bobby here. No, this isn't an ad read. I just want to tell you, some stuff goes kind of sideways on this build. It ended up being tougher than I thought. I was trying a lot of stuff for the first time, so it might not necessarily be the best how-to thing you see, but we still had some fun. Keep on watching. Right, over at the table saw, we're going to do a 3-inch cut, have my thin rip jig set up. Yeah, it's not thin, but I am going to cut 3 times with that, and this is going to help me keep pressure over on the fence, and my featherboard wouldn't have fit with the first cut, maybe not even the second one. So that's how we've got this set up. The board's also kind of long, so I've got some outfeed support set up over there on the roller. So you probably noticed the cut binded up. This is the second pass I've done that's done the same thing. I'm not sure if we're just exactly what's going on, but I read that you can shim up the cut end to keep it from pinching back in on the blade. I'm going to try that right quick, see what happens. Sketchy, but it worked. And lastly, we're going to cut it to the length that I want. It's going to be 36 inches. And remember, if you're cross-cutting with your table saw, don't have the fence touching this part. Move it out of the way and line it up how you need to be and go. Okay, I don't know how well you can see. I decided to save you from the tediousness of me actually doing the layout. But I needed 4 holes that are going to be 1.5 inches in diameter. And I wanted some bottom, so there's 1 inch. And this is the bottom of the first hole, center, the top of the first hole, another inch gap, bottom, half, so on and so forth for all 4 holes. Okay, 1.5 inch Forstner bit first. All right, now we'll try one with the hole saw. All right, that hole saw is probably about as hard as I've ever made that drill work. And don't know if you can see there, it's got some pretty significant burning. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the Forstner bit. I really don't know how this is going to go. I'm using my jaw horse over here to hold this thing. I couldn't think of any other way to do it with what I got. I'm going to try to cut it out with a jigsaw. Here goes nothing. Guess I need to drill a hole so I can turn right there. And on the other ends too. All right, now obviously we got some work to do before I mass produce this thing. But that right there, this is as much cutting with the jigsaw at one time as I've ever done. I don't exactly know why it is a 45 degree, well not 45, but it's got sort of a taper this away. And I don't know how that happened, how I got sideways. But my end goal with this is to find somebody that can make me a template. Then I would run a router to clean up everything, like a flush trim bit, make it exactly like I wanted. But let's put some decorative roundovers on this guy. We're getting towards the end here, but I want to do a roundover on all the edges and the edges of the holes. And I wasn't exactly sure how deep I wanted it to be, so I got one of my cutoff pieces and ran a test. That was a little too deep. There's an edge right there. I don't know if you can see. Then I did it again there. I don't really know the measurement on it. It's more than ½ an inch from the base to the end of the tip there, end of the bit. But we're just gonna do some routing now. Don't want to forget the holes. So after a great deal of sanding, here is the end product. Something happened with the router, and even though I don't have it with me anymore, there it is. So I still had the router set up like that. But it still ended up with that lip somehow. I don't know. This section, what I should have done here was start, because it was supposed to just taper up. I should have started with the jigsaw here, coming from the edge, and went this way with it. That's not how I did it, so that's kind of ugly. If something came out looking like this, I would not try to sell it to anybody, but it will get used in my house. We got a brew day Sunday, and I'll show you exactly how this thing works. Looking around on Amazon, these are about 35 and up. I see some that don't have holes that are only in the 20s. So I think, what I would do, or am going to do, is get some pine and practice with it being a little bit cheaper material. Learn from the craziness that did happen. Then I do have the distinct advantage of being part of a homebrew club. Some of those people might want one. So sort of a inside market there, but you can, there's probably a homebrew club in your town. So there's your market right there.